Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you're having a good one. So, what's going on today? Let's start today with the poll. What is the main advantage of a mobile wallet? Is it A, high level of security, B, large storage capacity, C, convenience for daily transactions, or D, access to a wide range of cryptos? We'll get to that at the end of the night. Now, what's going on in the news section? Whew, lordy, lordy, lordy. So, Ondo, I heard a lot of people, what's going on, Bianca? I heard a lot of people talking about Ondo. It's backed by Coinbase. Ondo got listed. Ondo got listed by OKX. And that could be why it soared about 8%. Not bad. It's a cool thing. Now, the bad news on the other side is WazirX can't get out of its own way. They don't know how to do anything right. I'm convinced of it, right? They once had a partner in Binance. Binance is no longer a partner, hasn't been a partner in a long time. Remember, last week, I told you that they were looking for a bailout. So, of course, they reached out to Binance. Now, CZ isn't there. CZ might have thought about it. New sheriff in town, my man wasn't even trying to think about it. Captain Banana, what's up? So, WazirX is also now trying to figure out, well, what are we going to do? You can't withdraw anything. So, that's not something you can do. They're trying to figure out, well, how do we pay everybody? How do we make everybody whole again? So, they put out this bogus freaking poll. Complete bogus poll saying, well, it's a non-binding poll, right? Everybody is going after WazirX right now. Their competitors, like their creditors, everybody's going after WazirX. As soon as you can, get your crap off of WazirX and drop them like a hot rock. I'm going to be frank. This is not the way you handle a hack like that. The scarier part is they're unprepared. It's like they were saying, we've got an exchange. We just keep making money hand over fist because of all the fees, and we don't have to do anything. No security, no game plan, no insurance, it seems. It seems like they don't have anything in place to make their people whole. This is going to blossom into a bigger problem, I think. Like, wow. So again, for all of you people out there that are using centralized exchanges like WazirX, I strongly recommend, not a little recommendation, but I strongly recommend that you make sure that they've got some kind of insurance. They've got something in writing about what they would do should there be an attack and they actually lose money, all of that. Because the bulk of the exchanges out there don't have insurance. The bulk of the exchanges out there, and I'm talking about the big boys. Big boys have a different lifestyle. You know what I mean? They have a different lifestyle. They got some reserves out there. They got some stuff going on. These dudes, bruh, you knew they were up to shenanigans before when they were like, oh, that's not mine. There was a whole big thing a while ago between WazirX and Binance, and that's not my property. That's Binance's. Binance was like, no, that's yours. No, good try. No, that's yours. We all know it's yours. It's yours. Own up to it. Live with it. All that good stuff. Just handle it. And it was shady then. It's shadier now. My fear is that they're not going to make people whole. That's my fear. That is my ultimate fear, is that they're not going to make people whole. That's a problem. That's a major, 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 major problem. So I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, what's good? You warned us a while ago when Coinbase went down. Yeah, but Coinbase is in a different situation. I believe they actually have insurance. They've got all kinds of things in place to make sure they can respond properly. But that was my point. It's Coinbase does. Does anybody else? Right? I don't deal with anybody else, so I don't bother to do that research. That's just how I feel about it. You wrote something else. I'm working on storing my stuff directly on the blockchain. Your stuff is already on the block. Well, if you have your keys, your stuff is on the blockchain. That's how that works. Do you mean that you're going to have your own non-custodial wallet? Is that what you mean? Because your non-custodial wallet would then talk to the various blockchains where you have your digital assets, and they'd be able to tell you this is what you have, on the blockchain. If that's not what you're talking about, then, but I think that's what you are talking about, right? With Tangem. I have not done any research on that. What are they? Is it a non-custodial wallet? Come on. Because you're at work, aren't you? You don't have a lot of time, so, get with the answer. Don't make me have to look it up. What's Tangem? All right, we'll get while you're answering me, we'll get to Captain Banana. Recently sold all my Matic as I didn't like the way they kept changing things and required me to react. I have no idea what you're talking about right there. I have no idea what you're talking about. Matic, Polygon requiring you to change things. I've got a bag of Polygon. Nobody's ever asked me to change anything, so I'm not sure. Are you talking about the upcoming upgrade from Matic to Pole? Because that hasn't even happened yet. Ty Dollar. What's up? Cold storage wallet. I'm going to tell you now. There really isn't, a cold storage wallet. That's a cold storage wallet. Meaning it's not connected to anything. Meaning I have it written down somewhere and it's not connected to anything. That's a cold storage wallet. I'm chilling, Ty. I'm chilling. I'm about to lace into some booty, but we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, so that's a good thing that you're getting into a non-custodial space. That's exactly it, because you had me confused for a minute. I was like, what do you mean directly on the blockchain? Am I missing something? Are you missing some data from? Yeah, so that's cool. I've never used Tangem, I can say that. So I wouldn't know about that. I've never done research on it. But I'm glad you're moving toward a self-custodial, a non-custodial situation. But I would tell you, please be careful with your keys, because if you lose them, they lost. Okay? So make sure that you've got them backed up appropriately in a place where you can get them, where nobody else can get them. That kind of level of security, right? It's like you wouldn't give your boyfriend access to your Instagram. It's like that. It's that level, Except this is money. Let me see. Captain Banana says first they were Polygon, then they were Matic. No, they were always Polygon. Well, I think first they were Matic. And then they changed the name to Polygon as the company, as the project. And then now they're changing from Matic to Pole. That's nothing that you had to react to until Matic to Pole, right? Nothing had to be there. It's actually a very trustworthy project. I've got a bag, I'll say that. I maintain a bag. Joaquin, thank you, man. I appreciate that. But I can understand why that would make you uneasy with all of those changes. But they didn't force you to make a change, though. You know what I mean? Like Matic was Matic. Like they changed the name of they changed the name to Polygon Labs, but they kept the symbol Matic. It's now that they're doing a major upgrade that they're moving over to Pole, which you had to know that was coming because the name of the company is now Polygon. Carbon Metals, Big Dan, what's going on, baby? But I can still understand why you would want to make that move. I still believe that Polygon is one of those coins for me. That's a part of my connective tissue bunch. I should probably publish that officially. Like say, here are the things, here are the ones that I have a bag in that I think are connective tissue, blah, blah, blah. One of these days I'll get to it, when I invent the 25th hour, even the 24th.5, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, just, give me 5 minutes. Give me like 10 minutes. I'll work something out. So yeah, there's a lot going on in that space right now. When I'm looking at, centralized exchanges, decentralized exchanges, all that, wherever you're keeping digital assets where you are not in control, if you're using a custody service, that's what I want you to pay attention to, because WazirX, not treating their people right. And a lot of them do the same thing. I told you about Monoswap that got hit the other day, yesterday. So I've been telling you about, various exchanges that have been getting hit, and it's the smaller exchanges. So that's why I'm telling you guys, please be safe, please be careful, know what you're doing, know how you're doing it, do the research on the things that you want to buy. If you're using, something like Tangent, good, but make sure that you have that someplace where it's safe. Also, just because you have a hardware key does not mean that your private keys, because that's the whole point. A hardware key just means that you have to use that hardware to unlock that version of your wallet. You can still take these private keys and go install that on another wallet. Feel me? So be careful with that whole situation. Like, I have to manage all of that. I don't worry about the hardware. I worry about having a list of my digital assets and a list of possible wallets or possible wallets that I can open up, my digital assets and see what I have, because I have my private keys, right? So it's two things that you're looking for right there. Joaquin, Signal is breaking up constantly. I am the only one with this issue. Am I the only one with this issue? You should be the only one with that issue, because I don't have any warnings. So you're scaring me. It's stalling there too. Then I wonder if, because I have no errors whatsoever. Like, yeah, I have no errors whatsoever. None. Like, YouTube isn't having any errors. My software isn't having any errors, like nothing. And Ty said he's good, so you know. But it could be just internet. It could just be, how you're connected. Try to drop it and come back on and see if that works. Lagging? No, I mean, like, I have a perfect stream going on right now. Knock on wood. That doesn't happen all the time, but it's perfect right now. I've got more than enough computer power. I've got big bandwidth. I mean, I'm pushing a gigabit of speed over here, so I'm sorry. But the only thing I can think of is drop your internet connection and come back and then see if that works. Like, maybe restart your routers, check your speed on your side. Because I know I have problems, but not today. Not today. Bianca, are you working today? I'm just curious, because it's Monday, and I think you're working. 5 votes so far. Not bad. 5 votes. Let's get back to the news real quick, because there's more that I want to get to. It is dropping back. I have to keep hitting live to keep current. Yeah, that's definitely not me. Maybe it's YouTube. It's either your internet connection or YouTube. It's definitely not on this side. Because so what you guys see, I can see right here. I have the stream coming in on my side on the screen where I type to you guys. So yeah, that's not cool. That's not a happy user experience. And we all know that I want you to have a good user experience. What else is there? Hold on a second. I'm just trying to move the window so I can put it in a better spot. There you go. That's a better spot. So we have that WazirX and Gate.io. Hold on. No issues with broadcast here. You're in Canada, right? I'm good from Missouri. Yo, Rick Ritchie. All right, let me get to the news real quick. So Discover.io, they have a new product called HedgeSmart. HedgeSmart Strategies, USDT offering 10 to 20% annualized yield on Gate.io. You realize why they're doing that, right? Whenever you see something like that, it's because a centralized exchange, which is what they are, is offering something to invite funds in, invite digital assets in, right? That's because that's how they make money. Like, that's the whole point of it. So yeah, but it could be pretty cool. I'm not touching it. But it's good for them to actually have something going on to show that, hey, we're growing up and we're getting some of those big boy offerings too. So I think that's actually a good thing for SEX to do. Now, here's what's really cool. 21 Shares has now integrated Chainlink's proof of reserve service into their core Ethereum ETF on their mainnet. And it's to offer transparency as to what they have and what they're doing. That's pretty flippin' hot. That's pretty flippin' hot. So here's Ethereum, and now here's a nod to Chainlink. Chainlink's to get a bump because I think their whole proof of reserve service is going to be a big deal. I think that's going to wind up being a big deal. That's going to bring in more business for them. Do you think with more integration of crypto, the oversight that come with more success? Yeah, this may be the last bull run of 30 and 40x plays. Let me stop and think about that. They were few and far between to begin with. Like sometimes you could get lucky on something that's brand spanking new. They've got a lot of rah-rah behind it, and you bought in when it just dropped. And then you might be able to see a 30, 40, 50x, right? I had somebody tell me, "Oh, they're so easy to spot," and I'm like, "No, they're not. No, they're not. You will spot more losers than you ever will winners." But do I think in the future that the more we get there, the less than we're going to see those big swings? Yeah, I think so. That's don't sound bad, but I wouldn't touch it either. Okay, typing on your phone. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's a very good idea for those people that want to use a centralized exchange, right? I can stake my money. I can make some money off of it. I can have it working for me. Cool beans. I'm down with that. I'm totally fine with that. It's just for me, I'm into staking. I'm just not into staking via, a centralized exchange. That's just me. But yeah, Ty, to answer your question, I think those times are dwindling. I think you can still find them for sure. Do I think that it's going to wind up being something that dwindles? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why, I have a limited number of digital assets that are long runs, that are, long shots rather. And I have more that are, more sure-footed. So you remember when I showed you guys the Grow My Bag X Factor? That's why I created it. That's exactly why I created it. I wanted a 2 feet on the floor, solid footing kind of perspective on certain things, right? Because after a certain point, when you look at the top 250 coins, you're talking about going down into the hundreds of millions, right? Going beyond that, you're talking about 100 million. Then you go lower, 50 million, and you go lower, and you go lower, you go lower. The lower you go, possibly the more money you put in, possibly more money you can make. But remember, when you're buying and selling, you are buying and selling on the open market. So as you're buying and selling on the open market, that you're going to help that price to fluctuate. So if you came into the open market, you bought like $100 worth of something that was 0.001, right? It's going to hit that point where it's like, okay, I started off here. Think of Germany. When they first started selling, Bitcoin was here. And then when they sold their last one, right? So now they only made as much as what that average was, that kind of thing. So it's going to wind up being the same thing, in my humble opinion. That's what I think. Not that I have any good thoughts. Just saying. Just saying. What other major news is out there? We're gonna have more major news, but I want to just get through this news that I hit like tonight. Base Network is going to not double gas target, but they have a double gas target to because of their innovation. They're trying to lower the fees and things like that. Base is making moves. Just so you can't invest in Base. Base is making moves on behalf of the projects that are running on Base. So you still have to buy a project that's on Base to kind of figure that out. I'd like to see more innovation around security. That's just me. Security, viability, longevity, that kind of thing. Because to me, it's still a network that anybody and their mama can build upon. Be nice to know, what are you building? Is it just another meme? Because the same way that I can talk nonsense about Solana about having so many memes, I can do the same about Base. Not to say that both platforms don't have real projects, but they have a lot of memes. Just saying. Now, let's talk about the U.S. government. First of all, I want you guys to do me a favor. I want you to go like this and tell me, do you have diamond hands or you have paper hands? I'm just curious. Like, do you have diamond hands or paper hands? And the reason why I say so is because let's suppose the United States government was dumping the $2 billion in Bitcoin, right? They did it in such a way that deal would be OTC. So first off, why are you panicking? It would be an OTC transaction. But rumor has it, it's not even going to be an OTC transaction. Rumor has it there's a deal with Coinbase, and it is a custodial play that they're having Coinbase handle custody. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. So that's what I'm looking at is, why is that going on? I'm sorry, Captain the Banana. I apologize. It was just a joke, but I do apologize. Thank you for that, by the way. But yeah, so people are freaking out. So you saw Bitcoin hit 70,000, right? Why did it hit 70,000? I gave you a bunch of reasons this morning why it would hit 70,000. You had a lot of municipalities actually buy into Bitcoin. Excuse me. And so with that buying of Bitcoin's going to go up. It did not go up because of whatever happened at the Bitcoin conference, because the Bitcoin conference was Saturday. That was days ago. It did nothing. It barely registered a blip after all that. News was out there, everything, the whole nine. People out there just saying, yeah, underwhelmed. So I started thinking about, well, all right, what could be driving it up? And I said, oh, okay, these are things that could drive it up. Absolutely. These are things that can drive it up. Then I started looking at, well, why did it drop so precipitously? Well, U.S. government moving $2 billion. Remember, the U.S. government has about 210,000 Bitcoin. And that's just Bitcoin. I don't know how much we have of other stuff. So then you're sitting there and you're thinking about, well, if they were going to dump, would they just dump 2 billion? They're not. I don't think they're dumping. I think that rumor might be true. I think they actually might be going for a custodial deal for that amount, see how it is, and maybe they move more. But it sent shockwaves through the cryptoverse, and everybody freaked. Paper hands. Yeah, I don't know what the heck is up with that. And so you sell? You know what I mean? So I'm sitting back and I'm like, oh, you sold. You're stupid. I'm going to go buy some. Because how long do you think you can actually suppress Bitcoin? How long do you think that's going to be? I don't think it's going to be long at all. Depends on the security. Sometimes I have diamond hands, sometimes not. Yeah, but you're thinking about what you're doing. Sometimes, like you're saying, well, for this one, I'm giving thought and I'm making a decision, as opposed to news hit and it's an instant, oh my God. There's a big difference in that. I'm pretty sure you think, and I don't mean the kind of think where you stand up. I'm serious. I think you think. I go for a walk whenever I feel paper hands. True that. True that. True that. True that. True that. Hutanic, did you not vote, or are you voting via chat? What's up with that, man? You can't be lazy like that. 8 votes so far. But yeah, you have people that have paper hands, and they're both, and they're freaking out. Oh my God, Bitcoin went down. Holy moly! Not even that it went down. Just like, oh my God, the U.S. government is selling Bitcoin. And was it over the counter? Who bought it? Was it in public? Like Germany? No. Researchers are saying they moved it to a wallet where, it seems like it's a precursor to moving it to, either an OTC transaction or a custody situation. I'm thinking it's a custody situation. I really do. You really want your government holding that? I don't know. I don't know. What vault are you going to put it in? Fort Knox? Yeah, there's an idea. Put it in Fort Knox. Put the keys in Fort Knox. Or if you feel like you can't trust your government workers, yeah, you put it in. You put it in a Coinbase situation, a custodial situation. I can see that. I get it. I can understand that. Not a problem. But to freak out over it, whenever I see the market drop, I immediately think, how much dry powder do I have? Do I have any left? That's immediately what I start thinking. I'm paying attention to what's dropping and what opportunity do I have. Here's something else. I'm also looking at the price, at my average buy price for whatever bag I'm holding. Want to know why? Because if the market dipped, I want to know, if I buy this, am I buying close to what that price is? Am I buying below that to lower my cost? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm looking for. What are those opportunities? Like, it's hard for me to buy Shiba Inu right now. It's hard. Oh God, it's hard. Like, it's 17 now. I bought it when it was in just single digits. so it's tough. It's tough. Because I can sit there and I can go, oh God, I'm about to, and it's a good buy. To me, it's a good buy. So I'm just sharing with you how I'm breaking down me buying some Shiba Inu right now. It's nowhere near its all-time high. So I have an opportunity to buy some right now, whatever price it is, right now, get in below its all-time high, and when everything starts to rise, it'll hit its all-time high again. At least in my humble opinion, it will. Right? Let me see something. Let me take a look at SHIB. Do I have that on this list? Yeah, so Shiba Inu and Shiba Inu's GMB X factor is 4.16x. If I buy some right now, do I think it's going to do that? Yes, I do think it's going to do that. So if I take 10 grand and I drop it, I mean, I ain't got no 10 grand to be dropping. But if I took 10 grand and I dropped it, well, it's 4x. Can you spell cha-ching? I'm down with that cause. Like, for real, for real. So when I see a dip, I'm doing that. What did I buy at? Where is it at right now? What's its GMB X factor? And how much money do I think do I think it's going to hit that X factor? And how much money would I make based on buying it right now? And should I put it in a separate wallet so I could track it separately? I mean, I don't have to. I mean, I have a tool that helps me track that particular purchase. Isn't that kind of cool? To know that that's over the years. So you guys asked me for bloopers. To walk through my bloopers, the stuff that I've done wrong. So instead of the normal Sunday roundup, why don't I do this Sunday's normal Sunday roundup as a Sunday roundup blooper edition. What do you guys think? And while you guys tell me what you think, I'm going to start reading what I missed. I love it when Bitcoin goes down. It means I can buy more. I love that thought. That's what's up. Rick Ritchie, buy the rumors and sell the news. Bitcoin is out of the bag. Sky's the limit. I was diamond hands, but seen my money go up then down. I'm trying to educate myself to keep the profits. Yeah, absolutely. Shib to the moon. When I look at what you just typed, I'm sitting back and I'm going, yeah, damn right. We've seen it we've seen Bitcoin skyrocket. We've seen the whole market skyrocket. And then we got so thirsty that then a lot of us watched it drop. A lot of us watched it drop. Okay. Lesson learned, right? Lesson learned. But when it dropped, some of us were smart enough to go, I learned my lesson watching it drop. It seems to have hit a bottom. Let me go buy some. That's what I started looking at, right? That's definitely what I started looking at. Hutanic, the inflation rate is high on Doge and SHIB. The price stays the same as the market cap increases. I think you might have to explain to me what you mean. I think you might have to explain that one to me, because SHIB has a high burn rate, so I don't know if I subscribe to that one for SHIB. Doge maybe, but SHIB no. You might have to do that. Dan, I knew you were going to ask that question. To be frank, we found something and we wanted to test it out again. One of the developers decided that he wanted to add something to it. He wanted to increase the scope. Rightfully so. This person is not in trouble at all. He's made the right decision. The file is a digital download, right? And so we've got to enact, something to protect us at least a little bit, right? And he found a way to make it easy to do certain things. So so he said, I'm going to do it. And he started working over the weekend, thought he would have it done today. So I could say it's on sale now. Wasn't able to do it. So I'm pretty sure that we should be able to do it tomorrow. It's absolutely going to happen this week. No doubt about it. I've seen it in action. So I'm happy about that. So my confidence level is there. One of the other things that we noticed is there wasn't a way for me to give the class and then give an exam after the class that was optional, as well as be able to give you guys a poll after the class to let me know how well I did, how poor I did, you suck, whatever. So I could collect that information as well, kind of hey, this is how you can improve kind of deal. So there wasn't a way for us to do that both ways. Yeah, I told you we're going to have a lot of news coming out, and it's going to be not just the workbook, it's also going to be the class. And one of the things for the class is for me to be able to give that poll. Because, yeah, I can give, and the other part was the exam is not mandatory. So I needed a mechanism that can say, well, all of these people attended the class. I can mark them as attended, so then they would have access to the poll and to the exam should they want to do either or both or none, right? Then that's what he caught out there, and that's what he decided he was going to do, and it was the right decision to make because he was like, yeah, no, we need this. We absolutely need this. He understood the assignment. In other words, I didn't state everything I needed, and he noticed a gap in what I was asking for and knew that this is what he meant. So he's building that out. We should be finished testing that portion tomorrow. So keep your fingers crossed. Tomorrow could be the day. I'm chomping at the bit probably more than you. Probably more than you. Like, really. I mean, I feel like an a-hole showing you guys, here's the tool, here's what I'm looking at, here's how I'm doing this, here's how I'm doing that, and not sharing. So, yeah, it's not cool. What you were saying, let me get back to Hutanic. Hold it. Did I miss anybody in there? Because I don't have anything flashing on the screen. That's why. The inflation rate is high. Okay, got that. Answer the workbook. I've been in on the SHIB. There you go, Ty. Yeah, you need the DCA. Whatever you can. You know what I mean? Like, people get stuck on, oh, I'm not able to DCA a lot. I'm not able to do a lot. Whatever you can. If you can't sometimes, then you can't. Okay? That's honestly how I feel about it. I tell my kids the same thing. If you can, great. If you can't, fine. Don't beat yourself up over it. Save up a little bit, and then you'll be able to do it. Communities both multi-sig. All right. Doge price sits between 10 and 13 cents as the market cap goes up and up. No, it dips. It goes up and down. It doesn't go up and up. It doesn't stay up. Are you sure you're looking at the market cap and not the trade volume? Because that does change. That does go up and up. That one then will definitely go up and up because it's just increasing. So Shiba Eternity is happening with Shiba Inu. So there are a lot of transactions that are happening. So trade volume could be higher. That was you that ordered the book. Thank you so much. I appreciate you ordering the book. Should be in this week, assuming this is a mandatory read. I'm not going to say it's mandatory. What I am going to say is if you want to take the class, you got to have the book, or you should have the book. It'll make it easier because you've had a chance to start walking through the book. And what'll happen is I've got a lot of people that started walking through the book and they're like, wow, this book is like really kind of heady. I didn't write it to be heady. I tried to write it in a way that tried to explain it to you a lot, but I can understand why people would have to have a conversation about some of the concepts that are in the book. Cool beans. That's the whole point. Make everybody think. I feel like, okay, no, I read that. So it's one of those things where you read it and then you have a discussion, sort of like, you were in high school and your teacher said, read the next 2 chapters. And you come into class and you start discussing the next 2 chapters for like the next 2 weeks and you hit the next chapters. It's just like that, where the book is going to help you, grasp some concepts and grasp some ideas and get some, like I said, foundational understanding about crypto, right? Prerequisites should be required. It's like going into a senior class without a 101. Stop it. It's not going to be like that. It's really going to be based on the concepts that are in the book. It's not going to be everything about the book. You know what I mean? Like the book has concepts that can be advanced. So I'm trying not to make the class about that. I'm trying to make the class about specific sections of the book so that we can get a better understanding and kind of ground everybody in that space. And then you'll when you're doing your own research, you'll better understand. Let's say, this coin versus that coin, this industry versus that industry, staking, like just basics around certain things. What's DeFi? Again, basics around certain things, right? So it's stuff like that. It's stuff like that. So yeah, I would definitely say read the book. It's going to be helpful. There are also pages in there so you can take notes as you're reading the book or as you're taking the class. You can take those notes and say, okay, I see what you're talking about. And it'll give you a baseline as to how you should be doing your own research. Like, I might be able to take this as a pearl for me to enhance my research techniques. I might be able to take this as a pearl to better understand the parameters by which I weigh different digital assets that are out there. That's the idea. Prerequisite. I think the class would be beginner enough for everybody to join in. But if you're a beginner, you should definitely get the book, right? A lot of people are like, oh, I know a lot about crypto, but there's a lot of stuff in the book that I know people that really know crypto, and they're like, oh man, I just totally did not know the answer to that. I did not know that. Oh, I didn't know this. They know what they know now, but they don't know some of the foundations. Like I say this to you guys a lot, where there are a lot of people out there that are doing advanced transactions, but don't really they know the steps to perform the transaction, but don't really understand what that transaction is. You know what I mean? They don't understand the idea of a risk framework. They don't understand the idea of, part of that risk framework would be know your ins, know your outs. So this is the way I can purchase something, but how I purchased it might not be how I can sell it. So I should know how to purchase and how to sell, and hopefully know a couple of different ways I can do both of those transactions. And even better, understand why I would want to buy and why I would want to sell. And I'm pretty sure that somebody like Dan is going to hammer me and make me, go over the workbook in that class as well. So I can definitely see that happening. What else is there? I think that's all the news for today. Impermanent losses. Are you serious? I swear every day you wake up and you choose violence. I swear every day you wake up and you choose violence. All right, young man, what about impermanent losses? What about it? Tell me. See, I sat there and I gave you time to answer. And you're not answering. Why is that? Why are you not answering? Yeah. Uh-huh. But let me ask you a question. Is that something that should be in a class? Maybe a class for you, and an advanced class. That's not a class that you're going to teach that, in a foundations class. That concept's not going to be there. That is a deep-rooted advanced concept. Like, that's a math problem. For a lot of people, it's a math problem. Remember, I'm probably going to get people that have some, iota of what crypto is. And then I'm going to have other people that feel like they know what crypto is, and 50% of the stuff that I'm telling them, well, I already know that. What about this? And remember, I'm trying to make sure that I'm answering the questions for the people that are more over on this side than the people that are more over on that side. So the book does have some advanced concepts, some concepts that are slightly, beyond, the foundations. But I really do want to stick to the foundations. I don't want to introduce something like that where most people are not going to get that. You know what I mean? They're not doing that kind of stuff. I have drawn back. You choose violence every single time. I've drawn back a nub on farming. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I can't even tell you. I remember the first time, here's a blooper. I remember the first time I was doing staking, and I was looking to see who I could stake with, and it happened to be Polygon, happened to be Matic, and I was like, oh, let me see who I could stake with, and I misread percentages, right? I thought it was percentage, how much I'm going to make. No, it's how much you're going to pay. What's the fee? So I went with the highest one. And I started doing research, and I was like, oh, yeah, that was a mistake. So I pulled the money and, restaked. But yeah. So everything that I made, I basically lost, I want to say like 95% of what I earned in that stake versus, yeah. So that was not quite a nub, but I've done other things where I've drawn back a nub. Yeah, I'll give you another one. I'll get deeper into it when I do the bloopers. But I sent crap to the wrong wallet. Can't get that back. That's why I tell people, like, do a small transaction first. That was when I created that rule for myself. Hey, stupid. Look at me looking in the mirror. Hey, stupid. How about you do a small transaction first? No matter what it is you're doing, do a small transaction first. Make sure you got it right. And just kind of make sure you got that right. Yeah, yeah. Yep. You know how everybody has the whole QR code on lock. Back in the day, they didn't have that convenience. So you were literally highlighting, copying, pasting. Well, I highlighted, except for one digit. Now, I've been lucky at times where things have bounced back because it's not a real wallet, so there's no place to send it to. You figure that out real quick. Real quick. We need to plan discussions about where to buy, best practices and research, and how to plan your entry and exit strategy. Risk framework. Yeah, it was a big oops. But enjoy hearing. But I enjoy. Wait, I missed something. I am probably the 50% ER. I'm missing something on ER. But I enjoy hearing a review. Oh, dear Lord, you could absolutely with ETH. Oh, my God. Easily, if you're not paying attention, you could send stuff that, man, let me tell you, I can't even. I can't even. And I track that. I track my bloopers. It costs me money. It costs me money. I gotta own that. I've got to own that. I remember when I was first starting, I was making all kinds of it. Like, dear Lord, I didn't get into self custody until like I want to say like 6 months after I was bouncing around different exchanges and stuff like that because the bulk of my trading was trading, not holding. I'm making trades to make money off of bouncing from exchange to exchange. I'm doing all kinds of stuff, doing all kinds of wicked, dumbass stuff without having a foundational understanding of what it is that I was trying to play with. Yeah. Dan, I'm not ignoring you. As I was talking, I was sitting here thinking about what you were saying. Sometimes it's a class, and I've heard from a few people that they're like, how come we can't have like a private Zoom so that we could actually speak? So I'm thinking about that. I guess my problem with that is of what kind of price do you put on that? And what's the maximum number of people? So if you have kids and your kids have ever played sports, you automatically know how many kids have to be on the team and how many extras you need. And you try to keep that team size as close as you can to players on the bench, players on the field or on the court, right? And you try to keep it tight like that. If I was to do something like that, what's the maximum number of people and how much should it cost? And how long should it run? Should it be, 20 people for 1 hour? And then what price? I'm at a loss because I've seen prices that are like out of this world. I've seen prices that are, damn near free. And I'm like, yeah, it can't be free, but I also don't want people, breaking their bank accounts over it either. I heard someone say that not having non-custodial wallets is like walking around with the cash in your pocket. What the heck? Oh, that's what that is. Oh, okay, cool. Um, Perspicacious just answered for me. Thank you. I would have said the same thing. It's easy to be taken. It can be taken from you, even if you're in a non-custodial situation. It can be taken away from you in a custodial situation. There was a Mexican guy late last year. He trusted somebody, had given them private keys. They absconded with his funds. You know, Joaquin's saying Zoom would be great, but you're the only person. Nobody else said Zoom would be great, so I guess I'm not doing Zoom. It is empowering. The last two words, it's empowering. Yep. You can hold it on your hardware wallet. You can hold it on a piece of paper, locked in a fireproof safe. You can do a whole bunch of things, but yeah, it's yours. And wherever you go, this is mine. People think that's crazy, but well, it probably wouldn't be Zoom. It'd probably be Microsoft Teams, just because we're a Microsoft partner. And I'm not a fan of Zoom, actually. But yeah, same. This is same basically same kind of technology. So that's two. Perspicacious wouldn't do it because he knows it all already. I can feel the eyes rolling. By the way, Lieutenant, I can feel the eyes rolling. I know. As soon as I said it, I was like, "Oh, she's rolling her eyes now." Once one understands bank deposits, and oh boy. So that's why this morning I told you guys about that banker who stole money. She stole 2.93, almost $2.94 million, and she stole it over 15 years. She'd been doing this for 15 years. So what? They knew so right now she pled guilty. So what is it? They knew for the past year, even if you said they knew for the past 2 years, and they built up evidence to prove her, to convict her. That's still 13 years. Like, huh? How are you able to do this for 15 years? She was doing this. 15 years. Now, she pleads guilty, but the money, the people who got the money, like her family members, do they have to give it back? Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, parasite. But that was at a bank. That was at a bank. Where you think, they've got the safety and all that good stuff. But I believe it was would I say region? I guess it was I guess you could call it a regional bank. But, small bank. But still, a bank nonetheless. So, wow. 15 years siphoning money. Redirecting money into other accounts. All kinds of wow going on right there. No, they didn't know about it. It was really me, and I would deposit the money, and then I'd take it out of their account and go put it in one of my accounts. They had nothing to do with it. So because she pled guilty, so you got to understand, like, okay, you pled guilty. They must have had something on you, and you cut some kind of a deal. It depends on what level you are in the bank, where you have to take a full, and I think it's 2 weeks, minimum, every year, to catch that kind of stuff. And again, it depends on what level you are at the bank, and you'd be surprised. Some of this stuff does not happen at high levels. Some of this stuff does not happen at high levels. Lower level people who are not subject to those kinds of things, it's easier for them to do it. It's easier for them to do it. And like I said, 15 years. So she's been doing it longer than, almost as long as crypto. Like, wow. How'd you hatch the scheme? Tried it the first time. Oh, that worked. Nobody saw anything. Did it the second time. Oh, wow. How many vacations did you go on? How many cars did you get? How many vacation homes did you get? 2.9, 2 point blah 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 million dollars. It's not a small number, even if it's over 15 years. That's not a small number. So just saying. Just saying. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So yeah, I'm just wondering. So yeah, you guys got to let me know if something on Zoom is something that you want. And if it should be a regular thing, like a once a month Zoom conversation, you get me live, except instead of it being a one way and chat, it's two ways on video. Reminds me of a bank employee that stole millions by shaving 3 decimals off a lot of transactions. Are you talking about Richard Pryor and Superman? What was it? Superman, I want to say 3? Is that it? I'm serious. That was a movie. It was with Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was that dude that did it. Dot is steady as she goes, and very important long term, I guess. Let me take a look at this. What's everything doing right now? Bitcoin's down to 66.5. Ethereum's at 33.28. Solana's at 183. It hit 190 something. I think 193. It did bunny hop BNB coin, so that's interesting. It's 2 billion up on that. So imagine how far it's come in such a short period of time. Next two closest are USDC at 33,775 and XRP at 33,743. Then you got a big drop down to 18.7, basically 18 and a half, or 18 and 3/4 for Doge. Down another 2 billion for Toncoin. I'm telling you, Toncoin's going to be formidable. Toncoin is absolutely going to be formidable, like for sure. And if Shiba Inu wakes up, that's going to be formidable for Avalanche. But those top 15 coins are doing some business. They're making it happen. Big time. Big time. Real life case about 40 years ago. I wonder if that's where they got the movie idea from, because I believe the movie was after that. That Superman movie, I think, was after that. So yeah, because I was I knew I wasn't the age that I'm thinking when that happened. Or did the person get the idea from the movie? That'd be interesting. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. It's been almost an hour. We seem to have gotten through everything. Let me see something. The poll. What is the main advantage of a mobile wallet? High level of security, 18%. Large storage capacity, 0%. Convenience for daily transactions, 82%. And access to a wide range of cryptos, 0%. And it is correct at convenience for daily transactions. That's the one. It is convenience. But there were a couple in there that you could easily say, well, yeah, you could do something like that. And that's because, you could use DEXs, right? So you did have, in some cases, you did have a wider chance of wider access to coins, but it wasn't the best answer. You really can't go wrong understanding where you are in the cycle. Oh my God, that's right. But here's the problem though. What cycle are we talking about? That's one. Good night, Bianca. Almost done. What cycle are you talking about? Is it the overall bull run cycle, like that whole cycle? Because like I said, I don't know that that's going to be the cycle going forward. I think as we go, that cycle is going through a metamorphosis. As crypto matures, that's what I believe we're going to continue to see. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already done so, become a member. That's even better. And I hope you all have a good one. And thank you so much for spending your time with me. I greatly appreciate you and that grand gesture of sharing your time.